Hello, and welcome. You have found your way to a very quiet place. A hidden street, a place that exists just outside the hurry of the world. A place that only appears in the deepest part of the night. It is time to let go of all that is loud, all that is bright, all that is fast. It is time to slow down. It is time to match the pace of this sleeping world. Let us begin by finding our breath. Take a slow, deep, conscious breath in. Feel the air as it is, a cool, clean presence. Feel it fill your lungs. Hold it for just a moment at the very top. A moment of stillness. And now a long, slow, silent sigh out. Let it all go. Let your body soften. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Feel the small, tiny muscles of your face, your jaw, your forehead relax. You are in a safe place. You are here to be at peace. Our story tonight begins on a street that few people can find. It is called Somnus Lane. It is not on any map. It is a small cobblestone street, tucked away behind the taller, busier avenues. And it is late. It is the deepest part of the night, the hour when the world holds its breath. The air itself is still, a perfect cold stillness. We are standing on the corner of the lane, and it is snowing. It is not a wild blizzard. It is not a driving wind, no, it is a gentle, a kind snow. Large, fat, perfect flakes of white are drifting lazily down from the dark velvet sky. There is no wind, none at all. The flakes are falling straight down, like tiny white feathers, like pollen from a great white invisible flower. They are drifting in the air. They turn and they swirl in a slow, silent ballet. It is hypnotic, and the snow has created a silence. It is a profound and heavy silence. The world has been wrapped in a thick white blanket, a blanket of pure, soft crystal, and this blanket absorbs all sound. The distant sounds of the city, the sound of cars, the sound of life are gone. They are muffled. They are erased. There is only the sound of the silence, the sound of the snow itself, which is not a sound. It is the absence of sound. It is a deep, peaceful hush, a velvet quiet. The air is cold. It is a crisp, clean, sharp cold. It smells of winter. It smells of clean, cold stone and of the air itself, pure and unscented. It is a pure and refreshing cold. It is a physical presence. You can feel it on your cheeks, a clean, tingling sensation. You breathe it in and it feels clean and sharp in your lungs. You breathe out, and a soft plume of your own warm breath appears, a tiny white cloud that joins the falling flakes and then is gone. You are bundled, warm. A thick, soft scarf is wrapped around your neck. Your hands are deep in the pockets of a heavy coat. Your feet are in warm boots. The cold cannot touch you. It is not an enemy. It is just a sensation, a feeling on your skin, a reminder that you are alive and warm inside your cocoon. You look down Somnus Lane. It is a narrow lane, paved with dark, rounded cobblestones worn smooth by centuries. But the cobblestones are disappearing. They are covered in a perfect, smooth layer of white snow. It is an untouched blanket. There are no footprints. There are no tire tracks. No one has been here. Not for hours. You are the first. The only one. The world is pristine, waiting. The buildings on either side of the lane are old. They are made of dark brick and heavy black timber. They lean just slightly toward each other across the narrow lane, as if they are old friends sharing a secret, or perhaps they are huddling together for warmth. Their steep roofs are heavy with the snow, thick, soft white blankets that round all the sharp edges. Their windows are all dark. They are black squares, empty eyes. The buildings are asleep. The entire street is asleep. The old iron gas lamps that line the street are not lit. They are dark iron sentinels. Their poles are black. Their glass lanterns are dark. And each one wears a small, perfect white hat of snow. They are sleeping at their posts. The world is a monochrome painting. It is a world of cold colors. The dark gray of the sky, the black of the timber and the iron, the deep blue shadows in the snow, and the pearly white of the snow itself. The only light comes from the sky, the faint glow of the city far away, reflecting off the low-hanging clouds. It is a dim, even light. It makes the snow itself seem to glow softly from within. It is a world of grey and white and black. And it is perfectly still except for one thing. One single point of defiance. One tiny pinprick of opposition. Halfway down the lane, on the left side. There is a light. It is the only light. It is not a cold blue light. It is not a stark white light. It is a warm light, a small shop window. And from this window, a single perfect rectangle of deep golden honey-colored light is spilling. It pours out from the window like liquid gold. It spills out onto the white snow. It paints a warm golden square on the cold blue blanket of the street. It is a beacon. It is an invitation. It is a sign of life in a sleeping world. It is a tiny fireplace in the middle of the winter, and it is calling to you. This is the place you are looking for. The shop of Julian, the watchmaker. You begin to walk. You leave the corner, and you step onto the pristine snow of Somnus Lane, and your footsteps make the first sound. The first mark on the perfect page. It is a soft, muffling sound. A sound of compression and release. A gentle padding whoomph as your boot sinks into the soft, dry powder. It is a wonderful sound, the only sound in the world. A soft, rhythmic padding as you walk. Whoomp. A step. Whoomp. A step. You are the only moving thing. The large, fat flakes of snow drift down around you. They land on the dark wool of your shoulders, on your hat. They do not melt. It is too cold. They are just resting, tiny, perfect, six-sided stars of crystal. They land on your sleeve and you can see them for a moment before they are joined by others. You walk slowly. There is no reason to hurry. This walk through the silent snow is part of the journey. It is a meditation. You are walking from the cold public world toward the warm private one. The golden rectangle of light gets closer and closer. You can see the shop now. It is a small shop. The building is old dark timber. The window is a large bay window that juts out just a little over the lane. Above the window, a simple wooden sign hangs from two black iron chains. The sign is dark wood, and on it, painted in faded gold letters, is a single word: Chronos, time. The sign is heavy with snow. The word is almost hidden under a soft white drift. The chains are still. You arrive. You are standing in front of the shop. You are standing in the pool of warm golden light that spills onto the snow. The light is warm on your face. It is a stark, welcome contrast to the cold blue air. You look through the window. The glass is old. You can see tiny bubbles and waves in it. It is not a perfect flat pane, and it makes the scene inside look faintly dreamlike. Wavy, you can see inside clearly. You can see a room paneled in dark wood. You can see a large wooden workbench. It is cluttered, not with mess, but with purpose. Tiny brass tools that gleam in the light, small wooden trays, and the source of the light, a single green-shaded banker's lamp. It casts a perfect circle of warm light down onto the desk, leaves the rest of the room, the corners, the ceiling, in deep, soft shadows, and in that pool of light you can see the figure. A man sitting on a tall wooden stool. He is bent over his work. He is an older man. You can see the silver-white hair on the back of his head. He is wearing a dark vest, and he has a loupe, a small magnifying glass stuck in his right eye. He is a creature of detail, of precision. He is not moving. He is perfectly still, lost in concentration. You are the only witness to this private moment. The snow flakes drift lazily between you and the window, dancing in the golden light. It is a perfect diorama, a snow globe. You look to the right of the window. There is the door, a solid, heavy-looking door painted a deep, dark forest green. The paint is old and cracked faintly. It has a large brass handle tarnished with age, and just above it, a small brass bell hanging on a curled iron spring. This is the entrance. You take one more look at the quiet, snowy lane, at the dark, sleeping houses. You are the only one awake. You and the watchmaker. You step out of the snow. You step onto the single worn stone step in front of the door. You stamp your boots gently. A soft, muffled thud-thud as the clumped snow falls from them. You reach out. Your gloved hand touches the cold brass handle. It is solid and real. You are ready to leave the cold and the silence of the snow. You are ready to enter the warmth and the sound of the clocks. You turn the handle. You push, the door opens. You push the door. Your gloved hand presses against the heavy old wood. The door is solid and heavy. It does not fly open. It moves with a slow, deliberate weight. A weight that speaks of age and of quality. It swings inward smoothly on its heavy brass hinges. There is no creak. Julian is a man who understands mechanisms. His door is well oiled, and as the door opens, it pushes a small metal lever inside. This lever is connected to the bell, the small brass bell you saw from the outside, and it makes a sound, a single perfect sound. It is not a loud or a startling jangle. It is not a modern electronic chime. It is the sound of a small brass hammer striking a small brass bell. It is a high, clear, and pure note, a single crystal tone that rings out and hangs in the air for a long, long moment, a sound like a tiny singing bowl. It is a sound that pierces the heavy, muffled hush of the snowy street. It is the sound of announcing yourself, the sound of welcome. You step across the threshold. You leave the cold stone step. You step inside the shop, and the world changes. It is instantaneous. It is absolute. It is a full sensory transformation. The first thing is the air. The cold, sharp, clean mineral scent of the snow and the night is gone. It is cut off as if by a knife. You are instantly enveloped in a new atmosphere, a warm air, a dry air, an air that is filled with a new smell. It is the smell of the shop. It is a complex and wonderful perfume. The most dominant scent is of wood, old polished wood, the faint, sweet, resinous scent of mahogany and walnut, and the smell of wood, polish, a faint, waxy smell of beeswax and orange oil. Underneath that is the scent of metal, a sharp, clean, metallic tang, the scent of brass, and with it, the even, cleaner, slicker scent of machine oil, the tiny, delicate oil used for keeping tiny things alive. And finally, there is a dry, faint smell, the smell of old paper, of cardboard boxes, of history. It is the smell of 1,000 tiny stories. It is the SCBNT of a workshop. It is the smell of Julian's life. And it is warm and deeply comforting. The second thing is the sound. The heavy white hush of the snowy street was a profound silence, an empty silence. You step inside, and the shop is not silent. It is the opposite of silent. The room is full of sound. It is a sound that you feel, as much as you hear. It is the sound of the clocks. It is the sound of 1,000 tiny mechanical heartbeats. It is a sonic blanket, a texture. It is not loud. It is intricate. It is a living, breathing, whirring, humming presence. Your ears are instantly filled with it. From the shadows on the wall to your left, you hear the deep, slow, reassuring pulse of a grandfather clock. A heavy wooden sound. The sound of a heavy brass pendulum swinging. A steady 1-second beat. A thud, a pause. A thud, a pause. It is the bass note, the conductor, and around it 1,000 other sounds. From the shelves in the dark, you hear the faster, lighter sounds of mantle clocks. Tiny metallic sounds. The sound of small springs. Some are fast. Some are slow. They are all out of sync. And the result is not chaos. It is a shimmering cloud of sound. A gentle rain of metallic sounds. A chorus of tiny voices. You can hear the sound of whirring. The sound of gears that are always turning. The sound of springs slowly uncoiling. The sound of time itself being measured in 1,000 different ways. It is the most complex and beautiful sound you have ever heard. It is not alarming. It is hypnotic. It is a womb of mechanical life. It is the sound of the shop. And it is warm. The door swings shut behind you. You did not let it go. You pushed it closed. It makes a soft final thud as the heavy wood meets the felt-lined frame, the sound of the brass handle settling back into place, and the world is sealed out. The cold white silence of Somnus Lane is gone. You are now fully inside this warm, dark, ticking world. Your eyes adjust. The room is dark, darker than the street. The street had the white glowing snow. This room is a room of shadows. The walls, as you saw, are paneled in dark wood, and the walls are lined from floor to ceiling with tall, dark shelves, and the shelves are full. They are cluttered with the shapes of clocks, hundreds of them. You can see the silhouette of a tall grandfather clock in the corner, the source of that deep thudding beat. You can see the round shapes of wall clocks. You can see small square shapes of mantel clocks. You can see the gleam of glass domes covering delicate mechanisms. The faint light from the window, the blue snow light, just catches the edge of a swinging brass pendulum. It flashes slowly, a hypnotic spark. The room is a forest of time, and in the center of the room is the source of the only true light. The workbench. It is a large, heavy wooden table. Its surface is scarred and stained with a century of work, and on it is the lamp, the green-shaded banker's lamp. Its heavy brass base is tarnished. Its green glass shade directs all of its light down. It casts a perfect, bright circle of warm yellow gold light onto the desk. And this circle of light is the center of the world. It illuminates a small, worn piece of dark green leather. And on this leather are the tools, tiny, tiny tools, small screwdrivers with wooden handles, polished tweezers that look like a surgeon's, small glass jars. It is an altar to a tiny god. The rest of the room is in deep, warm shadow. It is a room of comfort, a room of focus, and then the figure moves. The sound of the bell, the clear crystal note, has finally penetrated his concentration. He does not jump. He does not startle. His movements are as slow and deliberate as the clocks he mends. He finishes one last tiny movement with his hands in the pool of light. Then he lifts his head, slowly. He turns on his tall wooden stool. The stool makes a soft, woody sound of polished wood turning. He turns to face you. His face is in the shadow. The bright lamp is behind him from your point of view. He is a silhouette with a halo of silver hair. He lifts a hand to his face, and with a practiced motion, he removes the loop from his right eye. You see his hand, place it gently on the workbench. He blinks, his eye adjusting. He is an older man. You can see the lines on his face now, the lines of kindness, of patience. He is wearing a dark wool vest over a simple white shirt. He is not surprised to see you. He does not ask what you want. It is as if he was expecting you, as if you are perfectly on time. He looks at you standing in the shadow by the door, and he nods just once, a slow, deliberate, and welcoming nod. He does not speak. He does not need to. The nod says everything. Come in. You are welcome. You are safe. I have been waiting. And he just sits on his stool in the warm shadow of his own light. He waits for you, and the shop sings its lullaby of 1,000 tiny ticks around you both. You stand just inside the heavy green door. The cold of the snowy street is a memory, a faint tingling on your skin that is already fading. The warmth of the shop is a gentle, dry embrace. It is an old, settled warmth, a warmth that lives in the dark wood and the thousands of tiny moving parts. Julian, the watchmaker, sits on his stool, a quiet silhouette against his own golden light. His nod was all the invitation you needed. He does not speak. He does not ask you to buy. He does not ask you why you are here. He understands. This shop, on this street, in this snow, is not a place of commerce. It is a place of refuge. He is the keeper of the refuge. He turns slowly back to his workbench. A silent permission, a sign that you are free to stay, free to listen, free to be. You accept his silent invitation. You take a step forward. You leave the small woven mat by the door. Your boot meets the floor of the shop. It is not carpet, it is wood. Old dark wooden planks, worn smooth by a century of footsteps. They are polished to a dull sheen, and your step is not silent. The floorboards speak. They make a soft, low, resonant sound, a gentle, woody sound of settling, a sound of a house with a long history. You take another step, moving deeper into the warm shadows, deeper into the sound, and the sound. It is everywhere. Now that you are inside and the door is closed, your ears begin to adjust. They begin to unpack the sonic texture of the room. You realize it is not one sound. It is 1,000 individual sounds, a choir, a mechanical orchestra, and it is the most profoundly comforting sound in the world. It has layers. The first is the foundation, the bass note. It comes from the darkness to your left, from the tall, dark silhouette of the great-grandfather clock. It is not a tick. It is a beat, a deep, slow, resonant thud, the sound of a heavy brass pendulum swinging with majestic slowness, a sound that you feel in the wooden floor. A deep, woody and metallic impact, 1 second at a time. It is the heartbeat of the shop, the conductor. It is the rhythm that all the other clocks follow or ignore. It is the anchor of the room, a sound of absolute reliability, a sound of ancient calm. Then there is the middle layer, the tenor. This comes from the shelves, from the dozens of mantel clocks and wall clocks that line the shadowy walls. This is the sound of ticking, but it is not one single tick. It is a chorus, a cloud, a shimmering texture, tiny, sharp, metallic sounds, small springs and escapements. Some are fast, some are slow, some are silver, some are brass. They are all out of sync, and the result is not noise. It is a sound like a gentle rain falling on a metal roof far away, a constant shimmering cloud of tiny, precise impacts. It fills the air. It is the sound of many small lives all living at once. And then there is the highest layer, the soprano. This is the sound you can barely hear. It is a high, faint whirring, a shimmer. It comes from the glass domes, from the pocket watches lying open on velvet trays. It is the sound of the tiniest gears, the sound of the balance wheels spinning so fast they are a blur. It is not a tick. It is a vibration, a high singing note, a constant mechanical hum. It is the sound of pure precision, the sound of energy in its most delicate form. And all three layers, the deep beat, the shimmering rain, and the high whirring hum, they all blend. They merge. They create one single living sound, a sonic WDMB, a blanket of warm mechanical sound. It is a sound that wraps around you. It is a sound that holds you. It is a sound that proves you are in a place of order, a place of purpose, a place where everything is working. It is the opposite of chaos. It is the lullaby of the watchmaker. You take a few more steps. The wooden floor speaks softly beneath your feet. You are now close to the workbench, close to the pool of light. You stop just outside its circle. You are standing in the warm shadow. Julian is sitting in the shadow, on the other side. Between you is the altar, the illuminated workbench. From here you can see it. The green glass shade of the lamp is deep and dark. It stops any light from going up. It funnels it all down, a perfect cone of warm yellow light. You can smell the lamp, the faint warm smell of a hot light bulb and warm brass. The light shines on the green leather mat. The mat is scratched and stained, the marks of 1,000 tiny repairs. And on the mat are the tools. They are like jewels, tiny silver tweezers that tame to a point so fine it is like a needle. Tiny brass screwdrivers with dark ebony handles so small you would have to hold them with just your fingertips. A small glass bottle with a tiny needle applicator filled with pale golden oil. A soft camel hair brush for dusting away the smallest specks. It is a world in miniature, a world of profound and patient care. Julian is bent over this world. He is working on something you cannot see, something tiny. His movements are so small, so slow, he almost seems to be in meditation. He is a part of the room, a part of the lullaby. He is the calm human center of the mechanical song. You lift your gaze. You look past the workbench, past Julian's bent head, to the wall behind him, the back wall of the shop. And there it is, the centerpiece, the master, the clock from our video. It is magnificent. It is not like the other clocks. It is not a grandfather clock in a wooden case. No, this clock is a work of art. It is a great circle of brass and wood hanging on the wall. It is perhaps 5 feet across. The frame is dark carved walnut, but the face, the inside, is not a solid face. It is a web, a skeleton. It is a see-through clock. You can see all of its parts. It is a universe of gears. It is the most intricate and beautiful machine you have ever seen. This is the source of the video loop. The golden light from Julian's lamp splashes up faintly and illuminates it. You can see the gears, dozens of them, all made of polished yellow brass. They gleam softly in the shadows. There are great large gears at the bottom, the size of dinner plates, and they are turning. They are moving with a slow, majestic, and powerful rotation. A motion so slow you can barely see it. But you can. You can see the teeth slowly engaging and disengaging. And these large gears are connected to smaller gears, which are connected to even smaller gears. A cascade of motion, a river of mechanical purpose. The smaller gears spin faster, tiny brass suns whirring in their orbits. It is a silent dance. The clock is so well made, its own sound is lost in the chorus of the room. It is just pure motion. The hands of the clock are long and elegant, made of a dark blued steel. They are not ticking. They are sweeping. The second hand is a long, thin needle, and it moves in a perfectly smooth, unbroken circle. No jerks, no ticks, just a fluid, hypnotic sweep. It is like watching water flow. It is a calm meditation. And in the very center of this great web of gears is something else. A small glowing sphere. It is not a light bulb. It looks like a captured stone, an opal or a moonstone, and it is pulsing. It is the source of the magical light. It is a slow, gentle pulse of soft white light. It is not bright. It is a breath. The light swells softly, and it dims, it swells, and it dims. It is the true heartbeat, the living soul of the great clock. A pulse of soft, magical light. A pulse of slow, steady motion. A pulse of the deep beat that fills the room. You stand in the warm, dark shop. You are wrapped in the sonic blanket of 1,000 ticks, and you are watching the one perfect clock. You are watching the gears turn. You are watching the hands sweep. You are watching the heart pulse. You are watching the video loop. It is the most peaceful sight in the world. It is a perfect clockwork dream, and you can watch it for as long as you like. You stand in the warm, pulsing shadows of the shop. Your gaze is fixed, lost in the great clock on the back wall, the visual heart of the room. The great brass gears turn with a slow, majestic, and inevitable purpose. The dark steel hands sweep in their perfect fluid circle. The magical stone at its center pulses with a soft, living light. A silent breath swell, and dim, swell, and dim. It is the most peaceful sight in the world, a perfect clockwork universe, and all around you the sound. The air is thick with it, the sonic blanket. The deep, steady beat of the grandfather clock in the corner is the floor. The shimmering rain of 1,000 tiny ticks is the air. The high, faint whirring of the tiniest springs is the sky. You are watching one great silent clock, but you are listening to 1,000 others. You are wrapped in the lullaby of time. And then your gaze is pulled away from the large hypnotic pulse on the wall, pulled down, pulled by the only other light, the small intense circle of golden light, the light from the green banker's lamp, the light of Julian's workbench. Julian the watchmaker. He had nodded to you. He had accepted your presence. And now he has returned to his world. And he is letting you watch. You see him in the shadow, a dark shape leaning over a pool of gold. He is about to begin. His movements are slow. They are rituals. He reaches up not to the tools but to his own face. He picks up the loupe, the small magnifying glass he had removed. You can see it as he lifts it into the light. It is a simple black cylinder, made of a dark, worn material. It is not shiny. It is a tool, not a jewel. The lens at the end is thick and curved. It catches the light and fractures it for a moment. It is his second eye, his eye for the small world, and he performs an act that is so practiced it is like blinking. He lifts the loop. He brings it to his right eye. He does not fumble. He does not adjust. He places it, and it stays. It is held in place by the muscles of his face, by 1,000 hours of practice. It is a part of him, a dark circle, a new lens, and you can see him in the shadow. His left eye squints and closes. His world, which was your shop and the snow outside, has now shrunk. His entire universe is now the size of a coin. His entire world is that small, perfect circle of golden light on the green leather mat. He leans in. He is no longer a man in a room. He is a giant looking down on a tiny world, and you let your eyes settle on that world. The workbench, the altar. The light is so warm, and it illuminates the most delicate of tools. They are not thrown in a pile. They are laid out in order, a surgeon's tray. There is a row of tweezers, not clumsy like the ones you know. These are long and slender, made of pale silver steel. Their tips are so fine, they seem to disappear into a single point of light. They are like the beaks of tiny metal herons, waiting to pick up a mote of dust, or a gear the size of a pinhead. Next to them is a small wooden rack, a block of dark rosewood, and in it a dozen tiny screwdrivers. They are like needles. Their handles are not plastic. They are dark ebony wood, polished. Their tops are color-coded, with tiny rings of paint, red, blue, yellow, a tiny rainbow of precision. Each one for a screw so small you could not even see it. They are a family of tiny helpers, waiting in their beds, and there is the oiler. This is the source of that faint, clean scent. It is a small glass bottle filled with a pale, clear golden oil. The oil looks like sunlight, but the top is not a cap. It is a long, slender needle, a platinum needle, so fine that a single drop of oil could not pass. It is designed to deliver a fraction of a drop, a microscopic kiss of life to a tiny pivot. It is the most delicate tool of all, and there are brushes, not paint brushes, tiny soft brushes made of the softest camel hair, for dusting away the smallest speck of lint. A tiny rubber bulb with a long brass nozzle for puffing, a tiny jet of air where a brush cannot go. And trays, small shallow dishes, made of heavy brass. But they are not empty. They are lined with a dark, rich red velvet. The velvet is plush. It is a bed, a safe place, so that when he removes a tiny golden screw or a ruby jewel, he can place it on the velvet, and it will not roll. It will not be lost. It will be safe on its tiny red bed. The entire desk is a testament to patience. To Care Julian, his loop in his eye, his world shrunk to this golden circle now moves. He reaches to the side of the mat. He picks up the patient. The reason for this ritual: it is a small pocket watch. It is not brass. It is silver. The silver is tarnished and dull. It looks gray in the light. It is an old watch. A beautiful watch. Its case is engraved with a faded pattern of leaves and vines. It is heavy. He holds it in the palm of his hand. He holds it with a reverence, a gentleness, as if he is holding a small sleeping bird. And it is sleeping. It is silent. Its heart is stopped. Its hands on the small porcelain face are still. They are frozen. It is a tiny broken heart, and you look from this small, still, silent watch in his hand, up to the great living clock on the wall, the clock that is all motion, all life, the sweeping hand, the turning gears, the pulsing light. The great clock is the picture of health. The small watch is the picture of stillness. And Julian is the doctor. He is the bridge between the two. His purpose is to take the still thing and give it the song of the living ones, to make it tick again, to make it join the choir. He lays the small silver watch down gently on a small velvet cushion. He turns it over. He is looking at the back of the case. His gloved hand is steady. He is not wearing a glove. His hand is bare. It is an old hand. But it is perfectly steady. There is no tremor. It is a hand of absolute calm, of absolute confidence. He studies the watch. He is looking for the seam, for the place to enter. He reaches for his tools. He does not grope. His hand moves with certainty. He selects a tool, a small flat knife with a wooden handle, a case knife. It is designed for one purpose, to open the unopenable. He lifts it. The golden light of the lamp flashes for a moment on the polished steel edge, a tiny, sharp line of light. He brings the tool to the watch. He finds the tiny seam. He is ready to begin. The ritual is starting. The act of healing. The act of giving life. And you are there, a silent witness, wrapped in the warmth, wrapped in the sound, watching a master at his gentle, magical work. Julian, the watchmaker, is a statue of profound concentration. His entire world is focused through the single dark lens of his loupe. He is a giant peering down into a tiny, sleeping silver world. The watch lies on its velvet cushion. It is still. It is silent. A heart that has stopped. His hand, so steady it seems to be carved from stone, holds the case knife. The golden light of the banker's lamp shines on the polished steel of the tool and the dull tarnished silver of the watch. He does not pry. He does not force. This is not an act of strength. It is an act of knowledge. His eye finds the seam, a line so fine it is almost invisible, the place where the back cover of the watch meets the case. He brings the tip of the knife to this seam. He does not push, he finds. He rests the blade against it. He closes his other eye. He is feeling with the steel. He slides it gently until he feels the tiny ridge, the lip, the place that is meant to be found. It is a tiny difference in texture. He has found it. Now he applies pressure, not a push, a twist, a slow, firm rotation of his wrist. His muscles are tense but controlled, and there is a sound. Not a loud sound, a tiny, faint sound of release, a sound of a seal that has been set for decades finally letting go, a sound of old air escaping, a faint, dry popping sound, and the case back lifts. It lifts by a fraction of a millimeter. It is open. He puts down the knife. Its job is done. He uses his fingernails now. He lifts the heavy silver lid. It is hinged at the bottom. He swings it open. It moves with a silent, smooth motion. He folds it back. And the inside of the watch is not revealed. No, there is another door. A second lid. This is the cuvette, the inner dust cover. This one is not silver. It is a beautiful pale yellow gold, or perhaps brass. It is polished like a mirror. In the golden light of the lamp it gleams. It is a perfect shining circle. A sun hiding the mechanism. There is writing on it. Tiny, elegant script engraved in the metal. The name of the original maker. A place in a country far away. A list of medals won at exhibitions 100 years ago. It is a second layer of history. A second gate to the heart. Julian is not daunted. He expected this. He reaches for another tool. A tiny pointed pick made of wood. He finds a tiny indentation on the edge of this golden lid. He applies a gentle pressure, and this lid too springs open. It opens with a different sound, a lighter sound, a sound of precision. He folds it back. And now the heart is revealed. Now the sleeping city is visible. He pauses. Even he who has seen this 1,000 times pauses. It is a moment of reverence, for the inside of a watch is a universe. It is a mechanical miracle, a tiny city made of brass and steel and jewels. The golden light of the lamp floods into the tiny space, and the mechanism, which was dark now, flares to life with reflected light. It is breathtaking. His magnified eye travels. He sees the gears. They are not like the gears of the great clock on the wall. These are not dull brass. These are a pale golden color, polished to a mirror sheen. They are a web of interlocking teeth, each one cut with perfect precision. He sees the screws. And they are not silver. They are a deep peacock blue. They have been heated by hand to that perfect temperature, to turn them blue to protect them from rust. They are like tiny sapphires set against the golden bridges and the jewels. He sees the jewels. They are rubies, tiny, perfect, deep red rubies. They are not for decoration. They are the bearings. They are the places where the tiny pivots of the gears turn. A ruby is harder than steel. It will not wear down. Each jewel is a tiny cup, holding a secret promise of motion. They glow in the light like tiny drops of wine. A city of gold and blue and red. He sees the mainspring. It is hidden inside a round brass barrel, a coiled serpent of blue steel. This is the power, the life force in waiting. He sees the train of gears that carry this power, from the spring to the escapement. And then he sees the heart, the balance wheel. It is a small wheel the size of a pea, made of a shining metal. It is connected to a spring so fine it looks like a single strand of a spider's web, a hairspring. And it is still. It is not beating. This is the problem. The heart of the watch is not beating. The city is asleep. The serpent is coiled, but the power is not moving. The heart is stopped. Julian's eye does not move. He is in total diagnostic mode. He scans this tiny city. Why? He looks at the pivot of the balance wheel. It rests in its ruby jewel. It looks clean. He looks at the hairspring. It is not tangled. It is a perfect spiral. He looks at the escapement, the tiny anchor that rocks back and forth. It is still. He follows the power back. The gears, they are still. And then he sees it. His magnified eye detects something that does not belong. It is so small, so impossibly small, on the tooth of a tiny brass gear, the escape wheel. There is something, a shadow, a shape. It is not metal. It is not a jewel. It is a tiny dark fiber, a single strand of lint from a pocket, a microscopic intruder. It is lodged between two of the teeth, and it has stopped the entire universe. It is a grain of sand in a planetary system. This is the enemy. This is the sickness. He does not sigh. He does not frown. He nods. A tiny, slow nod. He has found it. He knows the path. His left hand is still steadying the watch. His right hand moves. It moves slowly out of the pool of light. It moves to the tools. It does not select a screwdriver. It does not select the knife. It selects the tweezers, the finest pair, the ones that look like a heron's beak. He lifts them. He brings them into the light. The golden light shines on the polished steel. His fingers are steady. He brings the tip of the tweezers down into the tiny city. He is a giant performing surgery. His eye through the loop is unblinking. He besings the fine point to the tiny gear, to the microscopic fiber. He opens the tweezers. He touches the fiber. He closes the tweezers. A tiny pinching motion. He has it. He lifts his hand slowly. He pulls the fiber out. It is free. The intruder is gone. He moves his hand out of the light and wipes the fiber away on a cloth. It is gone. Now he reaches for the rubber bulb, the puffer. He brings its long brass nozzle over the movement. He squeezes gently. A soft puff of air leaves the nozzle, a sound like a tiny, faint sigh. The air blows away any remaining dust. It is clean. Now he reaches for the oiler, the glass bottle with the needle. He lifts it. He brings the tip of the needle down into the city. He touches it, for a fraction of a second, to the ruby jewel that holds the balance wheel. He squeezes. A microscopic dot of golden oil is released. It is so small you cannot see it, but he can. It is the elixir, the life. He pulls the oiler away. The surgery is over. Now the miracle. He reaches for another tool. A simple pegwood stick, sharpened to a point. He sings it into the light. He reaches down. He touches the wooden tip to the edge of the balance wheel, the sleeping heart, and he gives it a nudge, a tiny, tiny push. And the wheel, now free and clean and oiled, moves. It springs to life. It spins one way. It hits the end of its journey. The tiny hairspring catches it and uncoils. It spins back the other way. It is alive. It has found its rhythm. The power from the mainspring is now flowing. The tiny anchor of the escapement begins to rock back and forth, and it makes a sound. A new sound has joined the room, a sound so faint it is like a secret. It is the sound of the watch's heart beating, the tiniest, fastest, most delicate tick, a sound of life. The watch is alive. The sleeping bird is singing, and Julian, his face still a mask of concentration, just watches it beat. He listens to the new voice in his choir, and he is content. The watch is alive. The tiny silver heart is beating, a sound so faint it is a secret, shared only between you and the watchmaker. The tiny, fast, delicate pulse has joined the great sonic blanket of the room. It is one more voice in the choir, a soprano returned. Julian, his head still bowed, his loop still in place, watches it for a long, long moment. He watches the balance wheel spin back and forth, a perfect blur of life. He is listening, not just to the sound, but to the rhythm. He is a doctor listening to a heartbeat. It is strong, it is even, it is perfect. A tiny, slow nod of satisfaction. His work here is almost done. His movements are as gentle as the repair itself. He reaches for the inner golden lid, the cuvette. He folds it down over the living mechanism. It closes with a soft, precise sound, a sound of a perfect fit. He has closed the door to the city of gears. Then he folds the heavy outer silver lid down. It closes with a more solid and final sound, a sound of a treasure chest being sealed. The watch is whole again. It is still a dull, tarnished silver on the outside. But you and he, you know the secret. That inside its heart is beating. Inside it is alive. He picks it up. He does not put it away. He just holds it. He cradles it in his steady palm. A warm, living silver stone. And then he does something new. He stops. His hands, which were a blur of tiny, precise movements, become still. He lifts his head, slowly. He straightens his back, which was bent in concentration. He lifts his hand to his face. He removes the loop from his eye. He places it gently on the desk in its own special spot. His whole universe, which was the size of a coin, now expands. His eyes blink slowly, adjusting, refocusing, leaving the world of the microscopic and returning to the world of the room. He sits motionless on his tall stool. He is a part of the shadows. He is listening. He is listening to the room he has created. He hears the deep beat of the grandfather clock. He hears the shimmering rain of the mantle, clocks. And now he hears the new tiny voice of the watch in his hand. He hears the sound of a complete and healthy symphony. And he sighs, a long, slow, soundless sigh, a breath of pure contentment. His ritual is paused. And in this pause, his GSE and your gaze with it drifts. It drifts away from the pool of golden light. It drifts past the shelves of shadows and ticks. It drifts to the window, to the large bay window that faces the dark and silent street. The window is a portal, a connection to the other world, the world without gears, the world without warmth. The glass, as you saw, is old. It is not a perfect flat sheet. It is thick, and it has waves and imperfections, tiny trapped bubbles from a century ago. These imperfections make the world outside seem like a painting, a dreamy, watery vision. The frame of the window is dark wood, polished, and it is cold. You can see on the inside of the glass at the very bottom, where the warm air of the shop meets the cold glass, a tiny border of fog, a small translucent cloud, a lace of condensation. It is the evidence of the cold, the proof of your warmth, and outside the world is white. The snow which was falling when you arrived is still falling. It has not stopped. It has not slowed. It continues its silent, relentless, and gentle descent. It is a curtain of white. The flakes are still large, still fat, still perfect. There is still no wind. They are drilling straight down, a million tiny white parachutes. A silent invasion of peace and the light. The light is what makes it magical. The golden rectangle of light from the shop window pours out onto the street. It is a stage, and the snowflakes that drift through this beam of light are the performers. They are no longer white. They are golden. They catch the light from Julian's lamp. They look like tiny golden embers, like sparks from a warm magical fire. They flash and sparkle, a swirling vortex of golden light. It is a constant, chaotic, and beautiful dance. And then as they pass out of the beam, they disappear. They return to the cold blue shadows of the lane. It is a river of gold flowing through the night, and the snow is building. The pristine blanket you walked through is now even thicker. Your own footprints, the only ones on the lane, are already softening. Their sharp edges are disappearing. The snow is erasing your journey. It is swallowing your past. It is a gentle absolution. The cobblestones are gone, but they are a memory. The street is now a soft white river, a pillow, a mattress. You look at the gas lamp across the street, the dark iron sentinel. Its black shoulders are now covered in a thick, heavy cape of white. The small hat of snow it was wearing is now a great plumed helmet. It is a white ghost, a guardian of the sleeping street. The snow is clinging to the iron chains of Julian's sign. The chains are now thick white ropes. The word Chronos is now completely gone. Buried, it does not matter. You know where you are. The world is being transformed. It is being made soft. It is being made clean. It is being put to bed. And the sound of the snow. It is nothing. It is the perfect silence. The shop inside is a universe of sound. The beat, the tick, the whir. It is a living, breathing room. And you look through the glass, and you see a world that is soundless. It is a perfect contrast. The snow is a physical manifestation of silence. It is a blanket that is not only covering the cobblestones, it is covering the world's sound. It is a great white hush. The only sound is in here, with you, with the clocks. And this contrast, this is the heart of the comfort. The contrast between the inside and the outside. Outside is the cold, a clean, sharp, biting cold, a cold that numbs, a cold that stops. Inside is the warmth, the gentle, dry heat from an old radiator in the corner, the tiny warmth of the golden lamp, the warmth of life, the warmth of wood. A warmth that holds you. Outside is the silence, the deep, profound, empty, white hush. Inside is the sound, the deep, complex, living song, the constant, reassuring lullaby of the mechanisms, the sound of 1,000 tiny hearts all beating in time, the sound of order, the sound of purpose. Outside is the light of the moon, a cold blue and silver light, a ghostly light. Inside is the light of the lamp, a warm, rich, golden light, a living light, a light that is the color of honey and of home. The snow is not a threat. It is not a danger. It is a friend. It is a guardian. The snow is a great white curtain that is falling on the world. It is sealing you in. It is insulating you. It is cutting you off from the noise and the hurry and the world. It is making your small, warm, ticking room the only place in the universe. It is a perfect, safe cocoon. The snow is the blanket, and the ticking of the clocks is the heartbeat of the person sleeping safely beneath it. That person is you. Julian, the watchmaker, is also watching the snow. His head is turned to the window. His loop is off. His tools are at rest. He is in his pause. He is in his meditation. He is watching the golden embers drift by. He is watching the world disappear. He is watching the world go to sleep. He is a man at peace, a man in his element. He is a tiny, warm island of purpose in a great, silent ocean of white. He sits, he watches. He holds the newly living watch in his hand. He is the keeper of the hearts, and he is the witness to the magic of the night. The room is still. The clocks tick, the great clock pulses, and the snow falls endlessly, gently, perfectly. The pause lingers, a moment of shared contemplation. You and Julian, the watchmaker, both lost in the silent, swirling, hypnotic dance of the golden snowflakes outside the old glass window. The world is being put to sleep under a thick, soft blanket of white, and inside the shop is a warm, ticking, glowing heart. A perfect contrast, a perfect sanctuary. Julian holds the small silver watch cupped gently in his palm. It is alive. Its tiny, newly awakened heart is beating against his skin. A vibration, almost too faint to feel, but he feels it, he knows. His work on this small soul is complete. He turns his gaze slowly away from the snowy window, away from the silent white ballet. He looks back down at the small silver circle resting in his hand. A quiet paternal look, a look of pride, of completion. He reaches not for a tool but for the watch itself. His fingers, so steady, find the small winding crown on the side of the watch, a tiny ridged wheel of tarnished silver. He pinches it between his thumb and forefinger, and he begins to turn slowly. He is winding the mainspring. He is giving the watch its food, its energy, its life for the day to come. He turns, and he feels a tiny resistance, a faint tightness, as the blue steel spring inside the brass barrel begins to coil. Tighter and tighter, he turns, and he hears a sound. Not the loud sound of the winding itself, but the sound of the mechanism responding. A tiny, high-pitched metallic sound, the sound of a tiny ratchet clicking over tiny teeth. It is the sound of energy being stored, a sound of potential. He turns and turns. His movements are small, precise, and economical. He is listening with his fingers. He is feeling the spring tighten. He does not force it. He knows exactly when to stop. He feels the point where the spring says enough, where it is full, where it holds its maximum power, and he stops perfectly. The tiny song of the ratchet ceases. The watch is wound. It now holds within its coiled heart enough power to beat perhaps 30,000 times an hour for the next 40 hours. It is ready. He does not put it down, no, he lifts it. He brings the small silver disc up from the pool of golden light. He brings it close to his ear. His head is bowed. His silver hair catches the light. He holds the watch, the back of it, pressed gently against his ear, and he closes his eyes. He is listening. He is listening intently. He is listening to the heartbeat. He is listening to the tiny rapid pulse of the balance wheel and the escapement. He is listening for the rhythm, for the health, for the song, and he hears it. The tiny, perfect, fast, steady sound, the sound of a life restored. He holds it there for a long moment, lost in the sound. It is his reward, the quiet confirmation of his skill, of his patience, of his magic. A smile so faint it is almost invisible touches his lips. He has done well. He lowers the watch. He opens his eyes. He looks at it one last time. Then he reaches for a small wooden box on the edge of the light. The box is lined with dark blue velvet. He places the watch gently, carefully into the box. He closes the lid. A soft wooden sound. The small life is now safe. It will rest here, ticking softly in its dark velvet bed until its owner returns. His work at the bench for tonight is done. He pushes himself back slightly on his tall wooden stool. The legs of the stool make a soft scraping sound on the old wooden floor. He stretches just a little, a small quiet movement. He looks around his shop, his kingdom. His gaze sweeps over the shadowy shelves filled with the dark shapes of sleeping clocks. He listens to the complex symphony that fills the warm air. The deep beat, the shimmering rain, the high hum. Everything is as it should be. Almost there is one last ritual, not a repair, but a duty, a nightly ceremony. His gaze lifts. It lifts to the great clock on the back wall. The magnificent clockwork universe. the silent dancer. Its gears are turning. Its hands are sweeping. Its heart is pulsing its soft white light. But it too needs to be fed. It too needs its power renewed. He slides off his stool. His feet meet the floor. The floorboards speak softly. He walks slowly out of the shadow around the workbench and stands before the great clock. He is now bathed in its own faint, pulsing light, the soft swell and dim of the central stone. He looks up at it. It is his masterpiece, his life's work. He reaches out a hand. He places it gently on the dark carved walnut frame. The wood is cool and smooth. He feels a vibration, a deep, slow, powerful vibration. The life force of the great machine. He knows what to do. His hand moves to the side of the frame. Hidden in the carving is a small brass keyhole. He reaches into his vest pocket. He pulls out a key, not a small key like the one for his door. This is a large, heavy brass key, a winding key. Its handle is shaped like a cross. It is heavy and smooth and gleams softly in the pulsing light. He inserts the key into the hidden lock. Shh, click, he turns, clack, thunk. A small section of the walnut frame springs open like a secret door. It reveals not gears but a single square hole, the winding arbor. He removes the key from the lock. He inserts its square end into the hole. It fits perfectly. He takes a deep breath. He grips the cross-shaped handle with both hands, and he begins to turn. This is not like winding the small watch. This requires strength. He is not winding a small spring. He is lifting heavy weights hidden deep within the wall behind the clock. He turns and the sound begins. It is a deep, powerful sound. It is the sound of a heavy ratchet pole clicking over large brass teeth. It is a slow, deliberate rhythm. Clonk, he turns, clonk, he turns, clonk. The sound is deep and resonant. It fills the shop. It joins the symphony, but it does not overpower it. It is a new bass line. A temporary heartbeat. Clonk, clonk, clonk. He turns, his arms moving in a slow, steady circle. His face is calm, focused. This is not a chore. This is a ceremony. He is feeding his masterpiece. He is giving it life for another week. Clonk, clonk. The sound is strong. It is reassuring. It is the sound of power being stored, of gravity being harnessed. He turns and turns. The rhythm is steady, hypnotic clonk, clonk, until finally the key stops. It meets a solid resistance. The weights are fully lifted. The clock is fully wound. He stops. The deep clonking sound ceases. The shop returns to its normal symphony. The beat, the tick, the whir. He removes the heavy brass key. He closes the small secret door in the frame. Click. He puts the key back in his vest pocket. The ritual is complete. He stands for a moment before his creation. The gears continue their silent dance. The hands continue their smooth sweep. The heart continues its gentle pulse swell. And dim. It is alive. It is strong. It is ready for the night. Ready for the week. Ready for eternity. Julian turns away. His work, all of it, is now truly done. The small watch is healed. The great clock is fed. The shop is humming with life. The snow is falling outside. The world is asleep. He walks slowly back to his workbench. He does not sit on his stool, no. There is another chair. A small old wooden armchair tucked in the corner near the window. It has a worn dark leather cushion. He walks to it. He sinks into it. The old leather sighs softly. He leans his head back. He looks out at his shop, at the pulsing great clock, at the golden light on his bench. He listens to the sound, his lullaby, the sound of 1,000 tiny hearts all beating together. He is the keeper. He is the master. He is the dreamer. And now it is time for him too to rest. He sits, Julian, the watchmaker. He is no longer at his bench. He is no longer the focused craftsman, bent over a tiny, intricate world. He has retreated. He sits in his old leather armchair, tucked in the warm shadows near the window. His work is done. The small silver heart is beating, safe in its dark velvet box. The great golden heart on the wall is fed and strong, turning its silent dance. The shop is in perfect order, a universe of tiny rhythmic life. And he is its quiet center, its still conscious soul. He leans his head back against the worn smooth leather of the chair. The leather is cool at first, but it quickly absorbs his own warmth. His body relaxes. He lets go. He allows the chair to hold him. His hands rest loosely on the wooden armrests. His feet are flat on the old wooden floor. He is grounded. He is at peace. His eyes are open, but they are soft, unfocused. He is not looking at anything. He is simply gazing. He gazes out at his shop. His life's work, his sanctuary. The pool of golden light from the green shaded lamp on his workbench is the only bright spot. It illuminates the tiny tools at rest, the closed box holding the mended watch. It is an island of warm light in a sea of deep, comfortable shadow. The rest of the shop is a beautiful tapestry of darkness and reflected light. The faint blue glow from the snowy window mixes with the warm golden light from the lamp. It creates a soft, almost purple hue in the deepest corners. It catches faintly on the glass domes of the clocks on the shelves. It gleams softly on the polished brass of a swinging pendulum. It is a room that is both dark and full of subtle light. It is a room that breathes, and it breathes with light. The great clock on the wall, his masterpiece, continues its silent pulse. The central stone glows, a soft white light that swells and dims, swell, dim. It is the slowest, most gentle heartbeat. It is a visual lullaby. It matches the deep beat of the grandfather clock. It is a perfect synchronicity, a pulse of sound and a pulse of light, working together, holding the room in a gentle rhythm, a rhythm of deep, profound peace. And the sound. The sound is everything. It is the air you breathe. Julian closes his eyes. He does not need to see. He can hear. He can feel. The sound is a physical presence. It is a warm, vibrating blanket. The deep, steady beat of the grandfather clock. The sound of certainty. The sound of order. The shimmering, gentle rain of 1,000 tiny ticks. The sound of life. Of many small lives all living at once. The high, faint, whirring hum of the tiniest mechanisms. The sound of pure energy, of delicate precision, all woven together into one single complex, beautiful sound. It is the song of the shop. It is the lullaby of time. It is a sound that fills every corner. It is a sound that pushes the silence away. It is a sound that says you are not alone. It says everything is working. It says rest. He sits in his chair and he lets the sound wash over him. He lets it soak into him. It is more familiar to him than his own heartbeat. It is the sound of his entire life, and it is the sound of perfect peace and the warmth. The room is warm. Not hot, not stuffy, just perfectly warm. A gentle, dry heat radiating from an old steam radiator somewhere in the shadows. The warmth is in the air. It is in the wood. It is in the leather of his chair. It is a steady, constant presence, a gentle embrace. It is the opposite of the cold outside, and he thinks dimly of the cold outside. He can see behind his closed eyelids the image of the window, the image of the snow, the large fat flakes drifting down, the silent white blanket covering the cobblestones, the golden light spilling out onto the street. The world outside is silent and cold. And still, and he is inside, where it is warm, and full of sound, and full of life. The contrast is everything. It is the heart of the comfort. The snow is not a threat. It is a blessing. It is a guardian. It is a great white curtain that has fallen around his small world. It has sealed him in. It has protected him. It has made his warm, ticking shop the only place that matters. He is safe. He is cocooned. His breath is slow. He breathes in the warm air that smells of wood and oil. He breathes out a long, slow, silent sigh. His breath has joined the rhythm of the room, the pulse of the light, the beat of the great clock, the shimmer of the small ones. He is a part of the machine. He is a part of the song. He feels the pull, the gentle, irresistible gravity of sleep. His body is heavy. His mind is quiet. His thoughts are like the dust motes dancing slowly in the beam of his lamp, rising and falling, drifting and settling. There are no sharp edges, no worries, no plans. There is only this moment, this warmth, this sound. He is sinking. He is sinking into the old leather chair. The leather is soft and yielding. It is rising up to hold him. He is sinking into the warmth. The air is a warm blanket. He is sinking into the sound. The great humming, ticking lullaby is a warm, dark ocean, and he is floating, weightless, adrift, floating and sinking. Down and down, his head tilts just a little to the side. It finds a comfortable place against the back of the chair. His hands resting on the armrests are limp. His fingers are curled softly. His breathing is so slow now, so deep, so regular. It is the breathing of sleep, the breathing of perfect rest. He is no longer Julian. He is no longer the watchmaker. He is a part of the shop, a part of the night. He is a sleeping guardian surrounded by his ticking charges. He is the dreamer in the heart of the clockwork dream. The great clock on the wall pulses its soft white light, swell and dim. The grandfather clock beats its deep, steady heart. The mantle clocks shimmer their rain of ticks, and the snow outside falls silently, endlessly, covering the world, protecting the sleeper. Everything is in its place. Everything is at peace. It is time. It is time for you too to let go, to sink, to drift, to join the watchmaker in his deep and peaceful sleep. Sleep now. The clocks are watching. The warmth is holding you. The sound is your blanket. Rest, sleep, good night.